And so the benefits of social media are that there's lots of negatives, there's masses of negatives, but there are real positives, and I think that's one, and it's how actually we all know each other, isn't it really? We've just met, you know, especially when we've all been in a room together, but we've met via Instagram and platforms like that. Don't think that you can't change something around football if you want to be a change maker. Don't think that you have to be, you know, a coach. Don't think that you have to work for a club. That you can make a change in so many areas that you might not even think. Because I come from a creative perspective, but there's a narrative there, and there's a story there, and I wanted to make some change, but just I approach it in a different way. So don't think that you can't do that, whether it's, I mean, we've worked with On the Ball, whether it's a petition to get sanitary products in football clubs, or it's something creative, or you want to hold an event, or you want to talk about, you can all make a difference, a massive difference, I think.
Just go and try it. Just go and put yourself out there and try it. Doesn't, as you say, it doesn't matter. You know, if you want something, if you're passionate about it, go and do your best about it. Just go and get out there and do it. Whether that is, you know, I know the career of women's football, it's difficult, but it's much easier than it was when I first started. You've got pathways, you know, there's a few of the girls who've gone to the States and stuff. If you want, if it's a playing career you are in the best time we've ever had for women's football for a playing career. So that is possible. That was not possible when I was the age of some of the girls now. You didn't have that platform. And as you say, social media will jump in that, because you are your own product, which is, if you're on social media and you are a great player, you put a video up there of yourself doing some skills, next minute that's forward gone. You've gone viral, next minute you've got people knocking at your door. It's so much simpler than it used to be. You don't have to go and put your CV into something.
I think for me, I would just say, if you're interested in like a conventional career within football, coaching, broadcasting, journalism, whatever, just have confidence in your ability and go for it. You know, don't worry and think I shouldn't be here, or it's difficult for me to be here because I don't see many other women in this field or whatever. Be confident. You should be there. So just go for it and get involved. And as Jackie said, you know, there's always a niche. There's always something new, always, that you can create that doesn't exist, or you notice it exists but it could be improved upon. There's always space for people to come in and create new things or improve what's there already, without question.
Can I just tag on to that, because one of my students at the moment asked me some questions over the weekend for a dissertation, and it really made me think of all of those things, like bringing a female perspective to any project can probably improve it. You know, like your work, like On the Ball's work, it's kind of like, oh God, how did that not exist already? And it's got nothing to do with age either, because there's a younger person who might look at the situation and think, well, that's not right. I think in the past we've just gone, that's not right, but we'll just live with it. Yeah. Whereas it's like, now actually we could change that. Why don't we change it? I've got, you know, on social media, you know, young girls who are like 12, 14, they'll send me like little bits of work and like a collage or a piece they've written for school. And definitely amongst undergraduates and postgraduates, studying all kinds of things like journalism, creative subjects, the amount of requests I get for interviews, for dissertations, always makes me smile, because there are people out there now who are going to make those changes. They're going to do that, you know. Definitely start from within. But yeah, it's kind of for the future. It's you know, feels really positive.
Okay, so I'll give you all the rest now. Has anybody got any questions that they'd like to ask?
at all. I might flip that back, you know. I know what I wanted to say was, you know, about us being up here as well. I think it's really important to get together, be as well as here, because, like I say, the feel in London is different in here, I think. But it's so encouraging, you know. Shout out to like Aggregate FC because they've got those things going on, and Tina at Formby, Community Football Club. But there are things happening and kind of bubbling away. But I think we just need more of it. Just need more of it.
And talking about the going and asking, the 5 Super League in London makes me so jealous that I've already emailed them about 50 times and saying, why aren't you in Liverpool?
Yeah.
I've also gone to the Alternative League in Manchester and said, why aren't you in Liverpool?
Yeah.
Because we're a football city, we want that kind of. I get jealous looking at your content when you're just having 5-a-side games.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe,
I'm new to
That's part of our conversation, isn't it? Does anybody have a question? We will have time to like chat individually afterwards. I know sometimes it's individual.
Hi, we spoke to a guy he's from the Wirral and he worked for Nike and he's a pizza designer. And he's a guy called Pete Hopkins and he was out obviously out on Portland now, he's sort of settled there, but he's opened up, it's called the Toffee League and it's co-ed, and the mentality in the States towards soccer, as they call it, is totally different to sort of the toxic relationship that we have with the Europe. Do you think co-ed might actually change a mindset, and will that do anything? Because I personally think it will, if you teach it from the
Yeah, it's really interesting that. I think we're still seeing the fallout in a way of the success of the men's team in the city. It's always like when you feel like you've heard everything you've got to hear, it like carries on, and there's almost like no room for anybody else. I think that's kind of what's happening for us here. So that's an interesting approach. It's very different over there. They have like make soccer weird, or something like that, like a hashtag, you know, where they all kind of dress up and I don't. I'd be in a great position to talk about.
I think now you look at the American soccer league, the identities and the brands and everything is up there compared to even our Chelsea's and Arsenal's and Liverpool's. It's so different.
I used to coach in the States for 4 years, and I used to coach high school girls team just before they get to college. I used to be called the difference of like pathway. So someone who's living in school, someone who's like you will have an interview with colleges asking us when we go what they're like in school. Like, we don't really know that's their teachers. But there's hundreds of colleges who will pay for your education. You've got people in this country where you've got debts from £9 a year. It's like £40 a year over there, and they'll pay for that. Because one needs to go to their college.
It's done through scholarship, isn't it? And that's it. I mean, some of
And a lot of
the better skills here play for Gerald's Academy, so it's small, but maybe that is.
Well, there's
Gerald's
people who
Academy
will-
might be changing.
Yeah.
It might be changing.
But
But
it
it needs
people who don't know about it and understand it.
Yeah. I feel like there's a groundswell anyway amongst kind of girls of a school age in the city. I feel like that's very different to maybe like older girls and young women. There always seems to be like a gap, and I don't know if that's to do with like leaving school and then not continuing to play. I don't know, but it feels like there's a groundswell amongst kind of girls of school age. Like they're really comfortable. From conversations I've had and people that I know, they're really into it. Whereas, you know, if you've been a fan and not really gone to matches, I think there are a lot of women that just don't even partake in any of that conversation. It's still men, actually, that are doing that in the city. You know, it still dominates. I also think sometimes like the men's teams overshadow what's going on because of like, you know, if Champions League wins, it just completely overshadows it. And I do think there's also an issue around time as well, like the time for trying to give you all to kind of both things. Not that you're necessarily going to support your men's team. But yeah, co-ed's quite interested, and I don't know if we'll ever be in a mould of like soccer in America. I just can't see that happening. I don't know.
It wasn't banned, was it?
It wasn't banned.
So that's where we're coming from.
Exactly. That is what we're recovering from, and it's taken a long time, for sure. Yeah, it's taken a long time. Didn't really answer it. Yeah, big question, isn't it? You know.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Well, if you do have any questions, we'll have like a little bit of breakout now. If not, you can always pop us an email, even if you just want to get in contact. And it's info@thrive-cic.co.uk. You can find us on Google and Thrive Careers Hub as well. So if you want to get in contact to ask any other questions, or if you want any advice around what we've spoken about today, careers, anything like that, just get in contact. And thank you.
Thank you.